Alright everyone, good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 30th, 2024 at 06:39. And today we have our day one outlook to look at today. Looks like we got a few risk areas we are looking at here. There's a slight risk here in North and South Dakota. There's also one over here in starting in Nebraska, going over into Iowa, down into Missouri and Illinois, down into Kentucky and Tennessee, and a little bit of Alabama and North Carolina, if you can see that, do have, or excuse me, not Alabama. What am I talking about? It's Georgia. Heck, I'm kind of still waking up. So North Carolina. So pardon me about that. We also do have a separate marginal. Oh wait, I forgot this marginal. So we got this marginal again from both Dakotas over to Minnesota, Wisconsin, down into Nebraska, a little bit of Kansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, a little bit of Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, and a little bit of Michigan, and a little bit of Illinois. Over here we got Pennsylvania, Maryland, D.C., Virginia. We also have one up here in New York State, Vermont, Massachusetts. New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. So those are the risk areas we've got today. So let's see. So we've got Nashville, Omaha, St. Louis, Lincoln, and Des Moines having a slight, and Chicago, Indianapolis, Baltimore, Charlotte, and Milwaukee having a marginal. So let's see what today's tornado risk looks like we've got. Looks like we've got a 2% in North Dakota, and then it looks like we've got a 2% starting in Wisconsin, going over into Minnesota, over into South Dakota, down into Nebraska, over into Iowa, into Missouri and Illinois, down into Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So those are our 2%. So cities like Omaha, Minneapolis, St. Louis, St. Paul, and Louisville having a 2%. So definitely an EF0, maybe even an EF1 if it becomes strong enough, could touch down. Alright, damaging wind risk. Again, it was a bigger risk. So let's go over these. I know my states. So 15%, both Dakotas having that. We do have a hatched area and bit of Iowa, Illinois, and Missouri. But the main 15% would basically start in Iowa, over into Nebraska, down into Missouri, over in Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. A little bit of Georgia and North Carolina there, having that 15%. We also have this huge marginal, but 5% basically, from both Dakotas, over into Minnesota, Wisconsin, down into Nebraska, into, you can see over here into Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, a little bit of Virginia, if you can see that, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, over into Alabama, and then going into Missouri, Kansas, and back over into Nebraska. We also have a 5% damaging wind risk over here in Pennsylvania, Maryland, D.C., Virginia, areas like that. And we also have this one up here in New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. So this is a lot here today. We got Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Springfield, Peoria, and Davenport under a significant severe. We got Nashville, Omaha, St. Louis, Lincoln, and Des Moines having the 15%. And Chicago, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Baltimore, and Charlotte having the 5%. I definitely would say in a hatched area here. I definitely would say damaging winds could be possible from 60 to 80 miles per hour. 5% like over here, or 15% you could see over here, 60 to 75 miles per hour, as well as up there. And then the brown 5% you could see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So please be on the lookout for that. Alright, today's hail risk. We've got 15% in both Dakotas. We got this one over here also in a little bit of Nebraska into Iowa, down into Missouri, over into Illinois. We also have the 5% in both Dakotas, into Minnesota and Wisconsin, down into Nebraska, over into Illinois, Indiana, starting over there in North Carolina, in Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and then going over into Missouri, a little bit of Kansas, we can see that, yes, a little bit of Kansas, and Nebraska. So we also have this one over here, a little bit of New York State, and then Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. So let's see what cities we've got under this risk. So it looks like we've got Omaha, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Springfield, and Peoria under the 15%. Oh, reset on me. These are longer videos where this does it. And then the 5% we got Chicago, Indianapolis, Nashville, Kansas City, and Minneapolis. So I definitely would say in the 15% areas here, you could see hailstones of 1 to 3 inches, and then in the 5% brown area, you could see 1 to 2 inch hail out of that. So please be mindful of that. Looks like the ESPC has little to say here, so let's see here what they got to say. So severe storms are possible today into tonight across a broad area of, from a broad area of eastern Nebraska and Iowa into parts of the Mississippi, Ohio, and Tennessee valleys. There is some potential for a swath of severe damaging winds within this corridor. A few severe storms are also possible across parts of the northern plains. So, yeah, that's basically it for today's Day 1 Outlook. I'm pretty busy, so I'm probably most likely not going to be able to update you in case the Day 1 decides to update. But anyway, here's today's hail risk, today's wind risk, today's tornado risk, and our overall Day 1 Outlook. So I do hope you stay well, stay safe, and stay weather aware. And I hope you have a good day, and I might be able to make a quick community post if